This is the 225th anniversary set. This is a set that Mike is really excited about because there's so many special coins in this. Does it come included, the case come included, Mike?
Yes.
Very nice. And you have all these coins.
Absolutely incredible, as you can see. This is the 2017 Enhanced Uncirculated Complete Set. Okay, so I'm gonna open this up. This is the way the set comes. All 10 coins are going to come in this, as you can see right here. I'm just gonna kind of put that right there for now. Let's see if I can move this back just like that, okay? And I'll get to that here in just a second. I wanna talk about these coins for a little bit. We're gonna spend a little bit of time here. The United States Mint, August 1st, released what they called an enhanced uncirculated set. Enhanced uncirculated is a specific way to make a coin. The United States government, as a matter of fact, very first did the enhanced uncirculated 2013. They did not have the technology to even do enhanced uncirculated prior to 2013. As a matter of fact, prior to this, I think there's only 6 enhanced uncirculated coins in existence. For their 225th anniversary, the United States government made a complete 10-coin set in special enhanced uncirculated. They put it on sale. They made 225,000 sets. They put it on sale. It sold out in 4.5 minutes. It sold out in 4.5 minutes. Now, that's the regular set, ungraded, uncertified, and all that. And I'll spend enough time and go through several of the coins. I don't have just the set. We have the set certified absolutely perfect. So of those 225,000 sets that were made in existence today in all grading companies, Mint State, EU70 absolutely perfect sets is far less than 1%. Far less than 1%. As a matter of fact, this, as you can see, is 1,092. We are already 100 sets gone, even though this is our first full presentation of this particular set that you're going to see right here. And so what we talk about a set is all the circulating coins. So it's penny, nickel, dime, half dollar, Sacagawea golden dollar, and then the 5, as you can see, America, the beautiful quarters that go with that as well. So you get 10 certified coins. Now understand, it costs you the better part of $30 just to certify a coin, folks. So understand what this comes down to is you are getting this for virtually the cost of certification. But remember, the certification, the fact that this is absolutely graded perfect, represents less than 1% of the sets in existence. And remember, in coin collecting, as in any collecting, the single most important determining factor of value is what? Condition. The higher the grade, the more it's worth, and these are absolutely perfect. So you have perfect, you have enhanced uncirculated, you have a special set, you have a sold out set. We've got it, and by the way, of course, the first day of, that you're going to have right here, first day of issue that we've got in this, that is limited edition of 1,092, is exclusive to HSN.
Oh, is it really?
So absolutely. So you cannot get this anywhere but right here. So all of those things, that's kind of the macro look at it, if you will. I mean, this is a set. It's 60% of all the enhanced uncirculated coins ever made by the United States government. And none of the other coins in 70, most of those are going to run $1,000, well, $300 to $1,000 individually for the other enhanced uncirculated coins, and many of them not even as rare as these coins. But now I want to talk about the individual coins. And let's start right here. This is the coin that has absolutely exploded.
The cent.
This is a Lincoln cent. And I understand it's a penny. What's the big deal, Mike? Well, here's the deal. That is the rarest San Francisco minted Lincoln cent ever made. And they've been making a Lincoln cent since 1909. So from the San Francisco, and that includes the 1909 SVDB, the legendary coin, which in high grade is, I don't know, $25,000, $50,000, $75,000. This is the rarest S-Mint Lincoln cent ever made by the United States government, and the only enhanced uncirculated, that EU, understand that's not a condition, it's a way that they make the coin. They literally use a laser to finish the dies to get this look. This is the only enhanced uncirculated Lincoln cent that's ever been made, and the rarest of all of them in the last 109 years of history here. This is the rarest Lincoln cent made at the San Francisco Mint in the history of the United States Mint. So that coin by itself, I have seen that coin individually sell for as much as $100 or even $125.
I'm not surprised.
So you move right next door to it. You have, of course, the Lincoln, the Jefferson nickel. If you want to collect every enhanced uncirculated Jefferson nickel ever made by the United States government, all you have to do is own this coin. because there's one and only one, and it's this coin right here.
Wow, and you get it.
So you have that, the only enhanced uncirculated penny, the only enhanced uncirculated nickel. If you go to the Roosevelt dime, there is another enhanced uncirculated Roosevelt dime. It was done in the March of Dimes set. We sold all kinds of those coins for $100 to $150 a piece. I don't even have them anymore. So that coin is significant and collectible and desirable. So I'm talking about all these individual coins. Now, I'm talking about coins that are $100, $125. You're paying $35 a coin. Okay, you're paying $35 a coin.
And that's just the third coin we got to.
And then you have the Kennedy half dollar. So if you look at that Kennedy half dollar, if you want the rarest San Francisco Mint Kennedy half dollar ever made by the United States Mint, you're looking at it right there. It also is the rarest one. They did one other enhanced uncirculated Kennedy in the 2014 set. We sell that coin for $100.
Okay, so 1, 2, 3, there's $400
that's
right there.
With basically about the same mintage as this.
Yeah.
And then you have down here. Now, in the Native American dollar, they have done an enhanced uncirculated Native American dollar for 4 consecutive years now. But if you take a look, they can range as much as $10,000 in EU70 for this right here. So to get an EU, I think probably the average in there is pretty close to $70 to $125. You're getting that for $34.95. So if you just take a look at the penny, nickel, dime, quarter, half dollar,
yeah,
okay, or not the quarters, but all those, that alone at $349.95, basically $65 a coin, is absolutely a stunning and stupefying value and collectible.
And those are the first 5 coins that you get. Plus, then let's go to the bottom row, because you get all these too.
You know, to my mind, that may well be the most important part of the set. Okay? The most important part of the set. If you're looking at the Washington quarter, which they've been making since 1932, and you want the 5 rarest Washington quarters ever made, you're there.
Wow.
Those 5. Wow. Those 5 will get it done right there. Those are the 5 rarest. If you want to collect all of the enhanced uncirculated quarters ever made by the United States government in any way, shape, or form, you would get that done right here as well. As a matter of fact, it is the rarest uncirculated or enhanced uncirculated quarter that the government has made in 100 years. It's the rarest Lincoln cent that the government's made in 100 years, regular uncirculated. It's the rarest nickel that they've made in 100 years. I mean, you have to understand the rarity, the collectability, and the desirability of this set.
Wow, this is a special set.
And now add in, it's 100% exclusive to us. You have 10 certified coins. 10 certified coins. The certification value tends to be about $30 a coin. And I can tell you right now that at this point, less than 1% of all the sets in existence have been certified EU70. So, you know, it's difficult. So you send those in, keep in mind, you know, these are the 70s. What about all the 69s that you have to certify in the 68s? And then we're going to give you the special presentation case as well. Look at this right here. And now you have collectability and desirability on a virtually unprecedented scale. Now add in the rarity.
Yeah, exactly. The rarity just blows my mind. You said less than 1%?
Less than 1% are in 70 like this. Now the set itself sold out from the United States. It's a little unwieldy here
let me help you.
Yeah, there you go.
Let me see what I can do for you.
And it's tough because we know the bright studio lights. The cool thing about these coins is they really jump out. Let me grab this coin. Which one? How about this one right here? I want you to, and look at that coin right there. That's the brand new quarter that's coming out, the Ellis Island. They just had the release ceremony yesterday on this. Okay, so look at that coin. And I know it looks unlike anything that the United States government has done. Now, here's the thing. It's a San Francisco minted coin. That's not proof. That's not proof. It is enhanced uncirculated. So these are the rarest S-minted coins ever made by the United States government. It has this spectacular matte finish. It's got the San Francisco mint mark, and you've got this times 5. You've got this times 5, and so you have a complete and total set in and of itself. I can make a pretty good argument to my mind that each one of these coins should sell for $79.95.
I was going to say, after going through it, I was like, kind of
I could probably make an argument that they sell for $200 a piece.
I was averaging out at 100.
Right, but reasonably so, about $79.95 times 10. So you're looking at, you know, $800. That doesn't even count the box and everything, which is about a $29 value is what my guess is. Custom-made box just for this. So what this spectacular opportunity to own this unique set.
Especially because they're perfect.
And they're perfect. Now, the United States government has made these enhanced uncirculated coins in other denominations, all right? But they've only had one enhanced uncirculated coin in every set. That's it, just one coin in each set. So they did 4 coins in the 2014 Kennedy, but only 1 was enhanced uncirculated. The entire set is enhanced uncirculated. The entire set. Now, the underlying set of this sold out from the United States government in 4.5 minutes.
Right.
4.5 minutes.
He did this exclusively for us here at HSN.
Right. Nowhere else.
This is an amazing set. And it's all commemorating the 225th anniversary or birthday, however you want to look at it, of the U.S. Mint in perfect condition and all so incredibly rare. I am so wowed by this one, and so are you, based on what I'm seeing happening in the call volume.
So you can see what they do, and this is how they do the dies. So I'm going to flip this over. They take a laser and finish the dies. And when they finish the dies with a laser, this is what it ends up looking like. And then they do a very special finish so they can get a mirror-proof finish on parts of the coin. And that's what you're going to have right here. That's why the 1 cent is highlighted that you have. So when you look at this, as a set, there's 1,092. Individually, there's 1,092 of each one of these. Like I said, I've seen this coin easily at $100. I've seen people selling these for $100 out there in the marketplace for just the Lincoln cent. I think right now it's the hottest coin in the set, but I think it's going to rotate, and then everybody's going to want this, and then everybody's going to want the half dollar, and then all of a sudden they go, oh, well, I got to have the quarters as well. So if you've been collecting the quarters all along, you have to have this, because if you're at the National Parks quarters, which they've done since 2010, or the beautiful quarters, or the state quarters, which they started in 1999, these are the only ones of those that have ever been done in enhanced uncirculated. So this is absolutely critically part of the collection that you're going to have to build. If you're a Washington quarter collector, you've always tried to aspire to the 1932D or the 1932S. Those were the coins that every single solitary person wanted. But in this high grade like this, they're thousands or tens of thousands of dollars. Every single one of these rarer than the 32D and the 32S. Every single one of these rarer than the 32D and the 32S. And so now you have got the key coins in the Washington Quarter Series. You have the only and rarest S-minted Lincoln cent ever. That includes all the proof coins that they made at the San Francisco Mint from 1968 on. And you have many of those coins that sell for huge premiums. This is the rarest S-minted Lincoln cent since 1909 in the entire history, and the only enhanced uncirculated.
Now I understand why you get so excited about this set.
Right, because it's just so phenomenal to my mind.
So phenomenal and exciting. Collectors, oh my gosh, what a night this is. We've got so much more in store. We've got 3 minutes on the clock on this particular set, and they're going. We've got a couple hundred people ordering as we speak right now. Already about 150 sets have been ordered. So I know a lot of us wait to listen and learn, like I do, before you make any move, but don't wait. Don't wait on this one. 577-365.
Look at this. So this is the Native American dollar, okay, that they're doing in enhanced uncirculated.
Right.
And we know it. It was called the Sacagawea Golden Dollar until 2010 when they switched to a rotating reverse. So this is only done one time. So this is they're only making it this year right here. And that's Sequoia, as you can see right there.
Sequoia.
That's right. The Iroquois chief that you see right there. That I think was the keeper of the Iroquois language. They had a written language for a long time before we got here, and it's just an amazing coin that celebrates Native American history. And we've done many of these through many of these, and you can see the beautiful matte finish that's included in this.
You know how I feel about these Native American coins,
right? And you're going, well, okay, Mike. You say there's an S mint. Where is it on the Native American dollar? It's on the edge. So you have to look in there. You can see right in there. So the mint mark, the S, is on the edge of the coin. Wow. So it's edge lettered as well. If you take a look at that very first 2013 or 2013 or 2014 enhanced uncirculated Native American dollar, the first ones that were done, you know, those coins in perfect condition, you're looking at $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 for those because they were so difficult to get in perfect condition. So we go back to that thing. What is the key to this? Absolute, complete, and total perfection. And that's what we're looking at. And all 10 of the coins are perfect times 10.
I almost feel like this should, like, add a 1 to the front of the, I mean, seriously, perfect condition. Mm-hmm. I can't imagine how long it takes to find and put a set like this together. Well, how exciting for us.
Well, you buy a set of 10 coins and you send them in and get graded, and this one, and this one's a 70, and this one and this one is a 70. Then you get another set, and you might get this one, and then you might get this one. And actually, the hardest one in the whole set, as it is right now, is the $50 for whatever reason. So we have to send in 5 or 6 or 7 sets. And remember, it's $30 a coin, excuse me, to certify it.
Certify it?
Okay, now that's what people normally pay. We're going to pay less. And here's this. You can pay less too if you want to certify 1 million coins a year with Annex. They'll go ahead and give you a discount. I promise you. Or you have to know somebody that certifies 1 million coins a year. And if you're watching this show, you do. That's me. And that's why I can get you this price right here. Why I can get you in, kind of at the very beginning of the process. This is our introductory price. This is our original issue price. This is the wholesale price.